Hey everyone. So this video is going to be about Dan Brown, um, very popular author, but I want to kind of dive into three of his books, just to give a little taste test for people that have not read Dan Brown before. First book is Inferno. Second is Lost Symbol, and third is Origin. So Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons are like the first two in this series of, Robert Langdon is the main character, really cool guy. But these are the ending books, and kind of want to give people a taste test. I actually saw Dan Brown speak in person um, in New York, and he was really great speaker. Talked about his origin and how he blends science and religion. And yeah, it's really cool. I want to get you guys excited for Dan Brown in general. So first, a little background on Dan Brown. He talked about this during his speech when I saw him. So his mother was a religious church organist, and his father was a mathematician. So that's kind of where he gets that blend of religion and science, and that's a theme that is constant throughout these novels. It's like a balance. It's like a almost like a fight between them. Who's gonna win? So his family dinner conversations were constantly about science, religion. So that's where he got that influence. So first book is going to be Lost Symbol. Okay, it is set in Washington D.C., which for me is great. I love Washington D.C. Um, and it's just so beautiful with the mall. It's great. The National Mall, not an actual mall. And yeah, there's a lot of exploration of masonry. Like the people that say, like on the dollar bill, you have like the pyramids and all sorts of things. There's a focus on noetic science, which explores the power of the human mind. And there's a key quote in the book: "The only difference between you and God is that you have forgotten you are divine." So that's a pretty powerful quote. Um, Showing like everybody's divine, not just God. Um, and the book also suggests like ancient spiritual beliefs and modern science. They do coexist. So it's kind of a mix of those again, as that's the theme of all of Dan Brown's books. So which is interesting because I have a different video on Haruki Murakami where his theme just gets really boring. For some reason, with Dan Brown, it doesn't work like that. And I think maybe because of the mystery of his books, because I feel like his books are such a page turner. That's why they're so popular. Um, that, yeah, it just doesn't get boring, despite the theme being the same pretty much all the time. Next is Inferno. Okay. It's inspired by Dante's Divine Economy, with a focus specifically on overpopulation. And this book examines moral, ethical dilemmas arising from scientific advancement in genetics. So there's a lot of genetic mutations and trying to like almost like life hacking. Key quote in this novel is, "The darkest places in hell are reserved for those who maintain their neutrality in times of moral crisis." Whew, moral crisis. You think we have some times of moral crisis right now? Understatement. I would say we've been in moral crisis for my entire generation almost. Um, yeah, I mean that's a powerful quote, and that's kind of one of the beautiful things about his books is it kind of like makes you think like more bold, more exciting. Um, and yeah, so science in this book definitely challenges religious beliefs and creates this moral crisis. So, there is a fight between science and religion, where science at least some people in science go so far as to say, why do we need religion? We have science now. Um, you've seen some of my videos on Torah and Bible study. I wouldn't call myself the most religious person in the world, but I definitely see the value in religion, despite being quite a scientific person myself, being a pharmacist and an educator on medical science. I love science. It's amazing, but it doesn't fill every void. Um, doesn't answer every question. Rather, doesn't answer moral questions for sure. So, last but not least is Oregon. So, this book explores the origins, that's why it's called Origin, and the future of humanity through AI, ChatGPT, and quantum computing. So, it's set in Spain, which has a rich religious history. And a key quote of the book is, "The age of religion is drawing to a close. The age of science is dawning." So, science basically is attempting to replace religion in answering life's biggest questions in this book. And that is interesting with AI because I have some friends that are relatively religious, and they call AI like Rabbi GPT, or they call ChatGPT Rabbi GPT, because you can technically ask ChatGPT spiritual questions and it will answer you. You could ask, what's the meaning of life? You could ask all these different things that people have been asking for such a long time, and it will answer it for you. Whether it's right or wrong is a different story, or what is right or wrong. But with this book talking about AI, that it's become such a real thing, I almost want to read Origin again now, because it's such a prevalent, non abstract, like ChatGPT. AI before ChatGPT was this abstract thing of like computers kind of being like doing things, but you don't have an idea what it is. And now we have kind of an idea of what AI is capable of. So it'd be interesting to read it with that perspective. So overall, each of these books, and same thing with Angels and Demons and Da Vinci Code, they explore the balance between science and religion, and I think that's um like a debate for everybody. Doesn't matter where you are in the religion spectrum. If you're super not religious, you still will find this interesting, because if you're super not religious, you're like not like anti-religion, but you're skeptical of religion. So it's interesting. This book is meant for you. If you're super religious, this book is also meant for you, because it definitely talks on those lines of that religion level. Um, and then everybody in between as well. So it's kind of a book in terms of science and religion that's kind of meant for everybody. That's what probably why it was so popular. Um, and once again, these are thrillers, these are mysteries, they're exciting, page turner, amazing vacation, like beach read. Um, I remember when I was reading, I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. It was so great. I definitely encourage you to read these books. You know, I don't know if you need to start actually with Da Vinci Code. Now that I'm thinking about it, they're not that sequential. Like I think there's some like love story that's sequential, but other than that, each book is like in of its own. So yeah, maybe Origin out of these three books, you could even start with it. Not a big deal, especially if you're interested in AI. Um, and yeah, I would love to hear in the comments which Dan Brown novels you liked, which you didn't like, your thoughts on them, your thoughts on this balance between science and religion, and specifically how Dan Brown touched on it. But thank you, Dan Brown, for such a great set of books and great writing style. Hope they were not ghostwritten, although wouldn't be surprised, or ChatGPT written. Peace.